Hi.
Hello.
I just crushed 3 office snacks. It took us a minute.
I listened to all of it.
I'm sorry you'd hear that. I was trying to eat quickly so we could get going, but I was hungry.
She was that was remarkable.
The trail mix
Really
sun
fascinating
chips
stuff.
and gummy bunny snacks. Tell a story.
I didn't talk about this on the last episode, but I did want to talk about, I told you a little bit last night, but for everybody else, I got a scalp treatment yesterday and it was life changing.
Welcome to Disrespectfully
with Katie Maloney
and Dayna Kathan.
Unapologetically,
We're here to do what we want to do.
spilling the tea.
Babe, you're going to see the power of women. Like,
Disrespectfully.
First of all, if you're somebody that like loves when they like wash your hair and they give you that like scalp massage, you will absolutely love this. I know there's a lot of like places, I don't know if it's like coming out of like Japan and like they kind of like are the ones, or Korea. I feel like we definitely didn't come up with that shit. But I can't remember where, so don't hate me for that. But there's tons of salons like in like San Gabriel Valley that like do not have available appointments for like months out, and plus that's like kind of far away, so it's like that level of planning to go to one of those places. But I checked to see, I'm like, is there anywhere in the valley over here that does this type of service? And sure enough, I found someone like 6 minutes away. It's called Brainwashed LA, and her name's Michelle, and she's amazing. But it's really cool because they give you the scalp analysis where they shows like that camera or microscope of like your hair and pores and follicles on your scalp, because for the most part, we all should know that like your scalp is such a neglected but important part of like your dermis, and like also really depends on like your hair health too. Your hair health is
100%.
dependent on your scalp health. And so for people that just don't effectively wash or don't use the right products or get product buildup, like that can like really lend to like your hair falling out or not growing or whatever. So just kind of seeing that. And then she did like a double wash and used like a tea tree shampoo. So like it was like a cooling thing. And then had the like halo, like waterfall thing, a mask. She exfoliated my scalp. Like I feel like I was reborn. Like I was coming out of like I
know it's an important part of the process, but it would scare me to do the camera at the beginning for the Honey, I Shrunk the Kids moment, because I'm like, what's growing up there?
I know it was pretty gross, but
Was it a big difference between the beginning camera and the end? When they
yeah.
showed?
And she's like, I don't want to strip your hair too much because you do need those natural oils on your hair. So, but it was pretty incredible just to see also the hair follicles themselves like had some like buildup from oils or product on it still. So seeing those like be like very clean, it was satisfying.
What does that cost?
It was $110 for like an hour long treatment.
Okay, I don't know how you're reacting at home where you live, but for Los Angeles, that's insane. That is not crazy at all.
No, I felt like that was a really, really good part. Just to sit there and like have your hair and head be like washed and rubbed and
And it was, sorry, where it was in Studio City?
in Sherman Oaks, yeah.
Sherman Oaks, called Brainwashed.
Brainwashed LA.
Okay, I really want to do that, but since I have extensions, I don't know if that affects any.
Oh yeah, they can't do it with extensions. But if you want to like in between your extensions, maybe that would be a good thing to do, just to like.
Totally.
Yeah, because she's like, I've seen scary stuff with people that had.
Oh,
extensions.
100%.
That's when I had extensions for like less than a year. That was the worst part. Of just like, I wanted just to like wash my hair and scrub my head.
Oh, I have to get through and you have to be gentle with them. So it's a whole. Why the literal did you ever have extensions?
So my hair, I was growing my hair out, and it was I know, and it was at this like weird length where I had length, but it was because I had so much like layers in my hair and things like that like it would just get so like tapered at the end and thin, and I wanted like the overall like thickness to go to the same length as my hair. So I got it not for length, but just to like add that, so it looked just consistent. I looked like my hair was like broken in pieces, but it was just growing out like layers.
Do you have more hair than anyone I know? So I'm like, how did they even put those in your head?
No, it was
They're,
miserable.
Like,
my hair was so
sucked.
heavy. I only did it for a little while just until like my hair grew.
Yeah.
And it grew fast. So
I mean, I'm still on that journey. I'm definitely not someone who is just planning on having extensions the rest of my life. It's just like going through, and I do see already positive changes, but I'm probably another year out before I'll not have them anymore. But honestly, it's been life-changing for me. And when I was losing your hair is so hard. And then when you damage it and lose it, it's just that whole thing sucked. I've mentioned her before, but Alyssa with one S, who does my hair and does Ariana's. I think her thing is Alyssa_styles. If you're looking for extensions in Los Angeles, she does K-tips. She's the best. But I thank her all the time and like always almost cry. I'm like, you gave me my confidence back. Like I just was not feeling well when I was like that. Hair is just so important. So I'm glad you're taking care of your scalp.
Thanks,
great.
girl. I feel pretty good about it. And because I suffer from like really dry scalp. So like the flakes that come off and like that's also, has a lot to do with product and things like that. And because with my hair short, I'm using product all the time.
Right.
Anyway.
So we can retroactively daddy list that.
Oh yeah, that's big time daddy list. But yeah, I recommend you do that in between your.
I mean, I at the bowl because when she takes them out and goes to wash my hair, it is the best shampoo of my life. And like then when she dries it, I like scratch my scalp because it just feels so good to not have them in.
Yeah.
So it's like a nice hour of that. Well, and then also, let's see here. When does this come out? Next Friday? We probably will have done the cryo thing too, so we can talk about that next week.
We're just getting into like the biohacks. I'm all about it, like cryo, red light therapy, like those like lymphatic compression pants that you wear. I love it.
It sounds like they have a lot of it. It's called Pause, the one we're gonna go to. Our Pilates instructor Lindsay recommended it to us, and yeah, it sounds like they have a lot like infrared and whatever. And so
plunge pools, which I don't like to do because I don't like to be cold.
I'm so bad at it, but I'm gonna try. We're thinking maybe that'll be a nice like post Coachella, post Scottsdale situation.
A little reset. And also because like we've been hitting the Pilates reformer like now consistently and hard. Like, I mean, Lindsay, she's an amazing, but like really challenging instructor. And I like it a lot. But like that,
the noises that come out of my body during that class that are
exorcism,
they are involuntary because it hurts, but in a good way. Like Lindsay is the best instructor. Her class is amazing. So it's effective, but I am screaming. Like
I'm just like, why? I'm like, whining. It's hard. And I'm like, you obviously have to keep doing it to get stronger. And like some of the things that they're challenging now will become a little bit more easy.
Yeah.
Ish. But man, I just feel like a weak bitch.
She tells us to do something. Sometimes we're both like, no, but we do it. But we're like, excuse me. You want me to put my foot where and hoist my hips into what way?
Like when you have to lean back on the ball and put the little like magic ring above your head and do I see God every time.
I mean, but there's no better feeling than coming out of that class.
Oh no,
like it feels so good.
We're going to be so hot in like a month. It's stupid.
Absolutely. So we're going to keep doing that, but then adding a little little recovery. So I'm really excited to do it. I've never done it before. I don't even totally know what the benefits are, but I know that people have loved cryo chambers.
Circulation is a big one. Joint health is a big one. I did cryo like pretty frequently. Like there was this place at the Beverly Hills Hotel. It doesn't exist anymore, but they had cryo chamber. They had an infrared bed that you could lay in, and then they also had like a tonal. Like they use a lot of like exercise and those types of equipments that didn't use weight, but a lot of resistance, and like there's stuff that like astronauts train for with NASA to help like with bone density and like getting into a condition to go into space. So it's like this like weird biohacking gym. That's why like they gave me an Oura ring before the Oura rings even came out because I was like a member at this place.
Well, I love infrared saunas are great. Like they're sneaky because at first it feels minimal and then all of a sudden you're dying because of your sweating. But there's a place I went to that I did that and then a salt room after, and it was so relaxing and lovely.
Ooh.
I love that. So
I love that.
That's what we're going to do. But today we're going to tell you some stories.
We're going to solve problems and give advice.
Should we start with some hometown heroes?
Let's do it.
Shelby says, lovely ladies, hello. My name is Shelby with an I. I'm not sure if this counts as, oh, by the way, that made me laugh because one time I was drunk in college and someone asked me my name and I was like, it's Dana with a Y. So then he called me with a Y for the rest of college. I don't know.
Dochi with two eyes.
I don't know why I said that, but it was just funny to me, Shelby. I felt that. I'm not sure if this counts as a hometown hero, but I'll keep it short and simple. Quite a few years ago, I was out at a local establishment in BFE, Illinois. S is silent, but who gives a fuck? With a few friends getting absolutely tanked. We called this place The Craft. Food, drinks, lots of TVs, and a jukebox. At the time, there were a bunch of co-ed softball teams eating and drinking at The Craft. My friends left after a while, and I was not ready to leave. Alone, I began chit-chatting with some of the players. I was invited to the table to keep drinking, and me and a guy at the table hit it off. We were both drunk, and at closing time, he took me back to his hotel room. The hotel in question was located right behind The Craft. Skipping a few steps, we banged, and then he got in the shower while I ordered an Uber. We have like 3 in total and they are never busy. While this man was in the shower, his phone screen lit up and the background was a photo of him and his wife. I quickly looked him up on Facebook to double check the math, and sure as shit, this motherfucker is married. I clothed myself, snagged his phone. I don't know why I grabbed it. Must have been instinct, and ran out of the room. I took an elevator to the lobby and ran into the women's restroom where I waited for my Uber. I still had his phone, not knowing what to do with it. I dropped it in the top slit of a towel dispenser. I heard it land on the top stack of paper towels. This gave me so much joy. I left and never looked back. To this day, I wonder if he ever found his phone. Hope this gives you a little laugh. Men are trash.
That's so upsetting.
I legitimately, my jaw dropped when I read that. Imagine you hook up with someone for the first time and then you just see their phone and it's like wife. Such a loser.
No, that.
And also so funny that you took his phone, like a crime. So I don't condone it necessarily, but it definitely made me hee hee.
No, that definitely happened to me before. I like hooked up with
in
somebody.
the moment?
No, I hooked up with somebody and then later on found out, but this was like, we didn't have iPhones then. So like, and also like we didn't have, there was no social media. So like having to know those facts about people weren't as readily available. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
So it was like after the fact, we ended up exchanging numbers because we met not in LA, we met somewhere else. He ended up texting me and saying like, hey, like we should grab lunch or something. And I was like, oh, will your wife be joining us? Never heard from him again.
Wait, this wasn't the guy that picked you up that one time for the like weird drive? For some reason I remember.
No, that was the other time.
Was it,
oh my
was
God.
He married?
He was engaged and he was calling me from like a Google number.
Yeah.
And then he forgot to call me from a Google number when he was coming to pick me up. And I was like, where are you calling me from? He's like, my phone. I was like, well, it's a different number than I have saved, you know, whatever. And I was like, knew something was up. So he was outside of my place. So I go get in the car with nothing but like my keys in my hand. And I'm like, you tell me exactly what's going on. This is like so shady. Like, why? And then he revealed that he was engaged.
Okay. Well,
so good luck for me.
Men are trash. Okay, great.
Men are trash. Anyway.
Do you know the secret to businesses that are scaling faster than ever? They're using Upwork to tap into a diverse pool of skilled freelancers across various industries.
Upwork has more than 2 decades of experience with a simple and ambitious goal: to pioneer a better way of working.
Companies at every stage turn to Upwork to get things done and find more flexibility in the way they staff key projects and initiatives by accessing a global marketplace filled with top talent in IT, web dev, AI, design, admin support, marketing, and more.
Posting a job on Upwork is easy with no cost to join. You can register, browse freelancer profiles, get help drafting a job post, or even book a consultation.
From there, you connect with freelancers that get you and can easily hire them to take your business to the next level. Upwork makes the entire process easier, simpler, and more affordable with industry low fees.
Post a job today and hire tomorrow with Upwork. Visit Upwork.com right now and post your job for free. That's Upwork.com to post your job for free and connect with top talent ready to help your business grow. That's UPWORK.com, Upwork.com.
I'm excited to be done with winter. Gone are the miserable days of sunsets at 5 p.m., woof, and constant shivering in your apartment.
Ugh, and good riddance to that. The only issue I have with it getting warmer out is the dreaded return of the Bobo.
The Bobo, that B.O.?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, the smells return. No one wants that. No one wants a little B.O.
No, it's not hot at all. And my motto in life is just like be hot.
Mm-hmm.
Like under the boobs, in the butt. Ugh, there's only one way to fix it, and that's Lumi. Unlike other deodorants I've tried, Lumi whole body deodorant can handle just about anything.
Regular BO, anxiety BO, existential dread BO, check for me. Whatever is getting you smelly in all the wrong places, Lumi is your girl. It's a long-lasting, safe to use anywhere on your body, clinically proven to block odor all day long and control odor for up to 72 hours. And it just smells incredible.
All products are baking soda free, paraben free, and are pH balanced for safe use below the waist. My favorite is a clean tangerine. It leaves me smelling like a beautiful little citrusy goddess that I am, you know, and I never have to worry about the dreaded smell check.
It's like I just plucked you off a citrus tree.
That's right.
Lumi Starter Pack is perfect for new customers. It comes with a solid stick deodorant, cream tube deodorant, 2 free products of your choice, like a mini body wash and deodorant wipes, and free shipping.
As a special offer for our listeners, new customers get 15% off all Lumi products with our exclusive code. And if you combine the 15% off with already discounted starter pack, that equals over 40% off their starter pack.
Use code disrespectfully for 15% off your first purchase at lumideodorant.com. That's code disrespectfully at LUMEDEODORANT.com. Please support our show and tell them we sent you. Smell fresher, stay drier, and boost your confidence from head to toe with Lumi. I don't know about you, but I'm already getting the itch for a little spring cleaning. This year, consider starting with your bra drawer because we know you guys haven't done that since like spring of 2001. Ladies, imagine if every time you reach for a bra, you pull one out and you actually want to wear it. Ones that make you feel as light and breezy as a spring day. If you can't think of one, it's probably because you don't own Honey Love yet.
Today's sponsor, Honey Love, has completely transformed the bra game. Say goodbye to the discomfort of underwire and bulky fabrics that trap heat. Honey Love's bras are designed with supportive bonding that eliminates the need for underwire while still giving you all the lift you want.
I'm just going to say it. Underwire is a saw trap. And I don't know why we haven't talked about it.
I know. I like the bra right now I have on right now. It's Honey Love. I feel like I'm wearing nothing, but my girls feel nice and
Supported,
lifted. Yeah,
comfy,
they're on my
lifted.
chin.
Gorgeous. Yeah, they are. I was going to say, you're looking a little perky today. And the fabric, it's so soft. It feels like a second skin, which makes it perfect for those warmer spring days. You'll immediately notice a difference. It's so unbelievably comfortable. You'll forget you're even wearing one.
Treat yourself to the most comfortable bra on earth and save 20% off site-wide at honeylove.com/disrespectfully. Use our exclusive link to get 20% off. honeylove.com/disrespectfully. After you purchase, they'll ask where you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them we sent you. Experience the new standard in bras with Honey Love. Hannah says, Firefighter foreplay. Hello, queens. I wrote this like a year ago and thought, I'm married now. I shouldn't send it in. But hey, I've had just the right amount of wine tonight, and I'm proud of a little slut in my past who was out there living her best life. So here it goes. I was dying listening to you talk about firefighters on the pod. It reminded me that in my early 20s, I had a fling with a firefighter. I was 21 at the time, as you should be. Now 35, he was 27. We met at the gym. He eventually invited me over to his house. I got there and he met me at the garage and basically told me to shh and funnel me downstairs. I blindly followed without a thought in the world that this random guy I barely know is shushing me and literally taking me to a basement. This is why, in our 20s, we just make terrible decisions and thank God we're still alive.
Everyone has a story like this where you look back and you're like, probably shouldn't have done that.
Sure, I sure do. To a basement where he proceeded to tell me that he has to live with his grandparents to be within so many miles of a firehouse, and they are upstairs sleeping. We start watching a movie, which quickly moves to making out, and over the next few months, we are banging on the regular. Most nights, not long after hooking up, he would suddenly get a page and have to leave to go to the firehouse. I didn't think much, but looking back, I'm pretty sure this guy just left me in a fucking firefighter chokehold. What a legendary scheme. He would basically get in, get off, get out, and probably send himself a page from his cell phone. Can you imagine? How would he possibly do that? And then pretend to go fight a fire. I was like, oh my God, what a fucking hero. One time I went over there and he was putting oil in his car, which, side note, had a bike rack on top of it. Instant ick. Wow, I was so dickmatized. Would a bike rack be an ick?
No. I don't.
Okay, I don't. I was like,
To each their own, but no, that'd probably be okay with me.
I know. I was just curious if that was like a kind of more universal thing. Anyway. But the car had recently been running, so the engine was hot. He wasn't using a funnel and spilled some oil, and his car caught on fucking fire. He quickly grabbed a hose and was hitting that fire from all angles. I thought, oh my God, I'm watching a master in his craft. Was this fiery foreplay? He should have hosed me off. I was so turned on. I love that silly little hoe I used to be. Also, I never met the grandparents, but damn, they had a nice house and their grandson knew what the fuck he was doing. The power firefighters have by simply being able to call themselves a firefighter is wild. Love you girls and the pod.
Do you know what's funny? Because of the last story, what I immediately thought that he was like married or had a girlfriend and it was their house. And so he would be like quietly taking her downstairs to hook up with her.
Well, maybe eventually she saw like photos and realized, okay, like it definitely is his grandparents.
Yeah, well, and also that would be so bold. Like you would have to be...
To bring someone to your... no, that's weird. Yeah. Firefighters really. I mean, listen. If I ever see a fire truck and then there's like they're all in there and they like wave to you on the street, like no matter who you are, man, woman, straight, whatever the fuck you get a little like.
I mean, I put that on my daddy list. There's nothing I love more than a flirty little group of firemen that like wave at you and give you a nice smile. I once, when I was still living in Seattle, I was probably 26. And I think I was on Bumble at the time. And I met this guy who's a firefighter. We connected and we had kind of like chatted and maybe it fell off. And I was driving around Seattle with a couple friends and a fire truck pulled behind us. And I looked like in the mirror of the car, I could see, I was like, I think that's that firefighter that I was talking to, like totally random. And so he texted, we kept driving and he texted me and he was like, hey, were you just in Lower Queen Anne? And I was like, oh my God, yeah. And he's like, come stop by the firehouse. So we went and we were just like where the trucks are and chatting. And you know how firefighters like to play pranks on each other? Mm-hmm. He was definitely single and really young. And they over the loudspeaker came on and were like, firefighter, blah, blah, blah. Your wife is on the phone. Please come. Your wife is on the phone. And I could see them all like laughing and cracking up and looking through the door to see how I reacted. Nothing. I never even ended up going on a date with him because he was a total snooze fest. But I was like, it's just so funny that they're all frat boys.
Yeah.
That end up with a grown up job.
I know. But like hot.
Totally hot.
That one firefighter that people were like going crazy for, like in New York, he like wore glasses and just, whoa.
Yeah.
Swung an axe or something. I don't know. Mm-hmm. But like, you have like big, thick arms. I just like, I don't know. Like, I'm not one way or another about muscles. Like, I don't care. But like, really strong arms sometimes get me sweaty.
Yeah. I like it light on the beef, but you know.
Normally I do. But sometimes I see that. I'm like, whoa, I don't know. I'm really random when it comes to like what my eyes want to fixate on.
I mean, yeah. Cynthia and Crystal asked me what my type is. And I was like, there's no.
No
randomness.
Like,
there's no pattern.
I like what I like. If I'm looking, I'm a liking, and that's it.
Okay, next story. Jen says, hi, Dana and Katie. I love you both so much in this pod. I have seen every episode. Sometimes I watch them more than once. I have been wanting to write in, but didn't quite know what wild story to share until you asked for murder stories, and I had to share. Also, I'm so honored because the number one podcast that I go back and listen to is MFM when I just need a voice that calms me in the background. So it's the highest compliment to me when someone says like, you guys are my comfort podcast. So I just love you all out there so much. My husband and I had dated for 5 years and decided to get married. So we had a Vegas wedding with just a couple handfuls of our closest friends and family. We had a blast and stayed the week in Vegas to celebrate. When we arrived home the next day, the doorbell rings and I answer the door and there are a couple dozen cops surrounding the entire house and they asked to speak with my now husband. I ask him what this is regarding and of course they won't tell me. My husband comes to the door and they ask him to step outside and shut the door so I can't hear anything. After what felt like a lifetime, he came back in the house and was visibly shaken. He tells me they think he killed his ex-girlfriend from 10 years ago and they believe he buried her body under a cement slab in his previous home. I, of course, am losing my mind. I just got married to this man that I thought I knew. Could this be true? Was running over and over my mind. I could barely listen to all the details about their conversation that he was telling me. The next weeks are a little blurry, but this man I married cried for days and days and ended up a week later in the emergency psychiatric hospital asking for help to deal with this as it broke him more and more mentally each day. All I could think was, why is he taking this so hard? Did he do it? Am I married to a murderer? All he could verbalize to me when I inquired is that someone he once loved is dead and they think he did it. Months went by and we never heard back from the cops. So as life leveled out a little bit and I pushed the incident to the back of my head, convincing myself that I knew him and we've been together for 5 years already, tried to be there for him emotionally and get back to normal life. Fast forward 3 years and this girl who is dead is well alive and sends him a friend request on Facebook. Holy shit. I'm relieved, like as much as I loved him for the 3 previous years, it had always been stuck in the back of my mind that I'm not sure what he's capable of. He writes her a message and tells her what happened and she laughed it off and said, yeah, she disappeared on purpose and that it's funny that they accused him of murdering her.
What?
He then blocked her and told me that it's not funny and he is so happy I stood by him not knowing for sure. She never understood that she could have destroyed a marriage she knew nothing about. We went on to be married for a total of 10 years before he passed away from the awful C word. What a crazy way to start our marriage. Anyway, hope this isn't too long. I hope you both have a beautiful day. Love you both.
What?
Yeah. Also, if you're looking for stories to send us, anything like that would be great. That I gasped when I read that.
Oh my
How
God.
insane is
I
people
feel
are nutty.
so bad. This is what I mean about like obviously, like, he dated this person, but like being just so selective of the people you let in your life, because there are people who are legitimately insane and who don't think twice about ruining somebody's life. Like this ex-girlfriend. Like it scares me to no end to like think that, people out there do this kind of shit.
Also, the way that she just laughed it off.
Yes.
Not only ruin a marriage, he could have gone to jail. And like, also, it's a crime to pretend you're dead when you're not and disappear yourself. Like what a freak.
How did they even come to that conclusion or that story? Did she like try to leave like clues that would lead them down that path?
I don't know. It's like that girl that pretended she was going to the store or something and this was only a few months ago, faked her kidnapping, and they found her in a hotel somewhere with snacks. Like she had planned, because this guy broke up with her and she wanted him to be sad and like miss her. That's insane.
This is why when some guys say like my ex is insane, I'm sometimes somewhat tempted to believe. It's like, look at what these fucking psychos do.
Oh no, totally. I mean, and that's men and women. And I think for women, it's few and far in between that someone's actually being truthful about that. But yeah, that exists. Hello. Like, look at this.
Just lunatics, or someone's trying to like fake their kidnapping just to make someone upset. Like, girl, go to therapy.
Yeah, absolutely. BetterHelp is available for everyone.
Wow, that is an insane story. And I'm really sorry that you had to lose him.
Yeah, me too.
Fuck cancer. Andy says, nightmare proposal. Hey, Katie and Dana, I really love the podcast and everything both of you do. I've written before about a terrible, questionable hookup with a dude nicknamed the Murderer. Remember him? I think he had like a mattress. It was like a dirty mattress on the floor.
Oh.
I thought it's time to share another story that I truly can't make up. It's my proposal story. I'm a trans guy and have been dating another trans guy for about a year. Things were going fine. I was 20 and delusional and thought this would be the one. Spoiler alert, he definitely wasn't. He was pretty obsessed with me and talked about wanting to marry me. The prospect of that was very exciting to me. I knew he bought a ring, and there was a day we were supposed to spend together at an apple orchard where I had a feeling he was going to try and propose. Before this day came, we started having some major disagreements / communication issues, so I told him I didn't think we were ready for that next step yet, and that I knew he had the ring, but to please hold off on proposing. He seemed bummed and non-committal, so I generally dreaded going to spend the day at the orchard with him. I was so surprised when we got through the whole day and he didn't try to spring a proposal on me. What happened next was truly shocking to myself and everyone I've told. I passed out in his bed, exhausted, and in the middle of the night, I swore that I heard him say something to me. I didn't hear what he had said in my groggy state, so I sat up to try and hear him better. Next thing I know, he slips a ring on my finger. Another important detail to add is that I was sleeping completely naked. Instantly, I'm sobered up / awake as I see this ring on my finger, completely shocked. He had said, sit up if you want to get married while I was sleeping. So because I was 19 and didn't think I could clarify that asking a sleeping person to marry you didn't count, I wound up being engaged for, I think, almost a year to a guy I knew I didn't want to spend my life with. Oh, every time I tell this story, people are shocked. So I thought you ladies would get a kick out of it too. P.S. If not too long, my current fiance, the true love of my life, was actually one of my friends that had a sit-down intervention with me to tell me it was okay to break that first engagement off. Best decision ever. With love, Indy, he/they. Sit up if you want to get married? Like,
that's like it's like, dumb girl says what? And you're like, what? They're like, dumb girl, huh? Like, what?
I didn't know that.
Is this a trick?
Oh.
Sit up if you want to get married? I'm asleep. You can't consent to marriage when you're sleeping.
I know, and then just put a ring on someone's finger. Again, I guess when you're 19, you just, boundaries and brain form is not really, that's not a thing.
That's a silly goose proposal. I've never heard anything like that.
And then stayed engaged for a year.
Well, Indy, all's well that ends well.
I'm glad that it worked out for you in the end.
Christine says, hi, Dana and Katie. I just want to say how much I love your podcast, the laughs, the tears, all of it. You both have brought me so much comfort, joy, and connection week after week. Katie, I've always felt especially drawn to you. I remember listening to the final episode of your podcast. It was the most beautiful day. I was on a bus in Double Bay in Sydney. Sun was twinkling on the water, and I was on my way to work crying like a psycho on public transport. Maybe it was because I saw myself in your story, and I was really proud of you for walking away and knowing your worth, a place I knew I was headed towards but terrified to face. I was with my ex-husband for 11 years. We met when I was 20. There was a lot of love, yes, but also a lot of red flags I ignored. Aggression, disrespect, letting things slide, love bombing. That was addictive. We had this huge wedding planned on a tropical island, but COVID came along and destroyed it. We lost so much money on deposits. After lockdown and all the heartbreak, we decided to elope in January of 2022, just us. It was deeply emotional and beautiful. Once we got married, something shifted. He became distant. The red flags got worse. I felt like he hated me. I became the punching bag for everything wrong in his world. I kept us afloat financially and emotionally. I had a stable job. I just started to feel so frustrated watching my friends move forward in life where I felt stuck. We couldn't even afford a honeymoon. Then on October of 2022, he told me he needed to go back to England. His grandmother was dying. We scraped together every bit of money we had so he could go. I supported him without hesitation. When he came back, he was more loving than ever. When we went to his friend's wedding, I let myself believe we'd turned a corner. I turned 30 on Christmas Day, Capricorn like you, Katie, and I felt like maybe the worst was behind us. Then a few days later, a package arrived from New Jersey, America. It was addressed to him. I opened it and found a card and presents. And in the card, the woman wrote that she couldn't wait to meet up again and get lost with him so he could direct them where to go next. That's when I realized he had been in an online relationship with this woman, not just some one-off mistake. It wasn't just emotional. They had clearly met up, made memories, shared plans. The next few seconds were a blur. I smashed everything in the box, including a framed photo. There was glass everywhere. I threw it all over the kitchen sink and set it on fire. The fire alarm in my apartment went off. I was on the edge of insanity. And still, somehow, I forgave him. He gaslit me and said it was just a one-night stand. I wanted to believe it because I didn't want to face the truth. A few months later, we went on a healing trip to Bali. I was, of course, playing the role of the organizer, getting things ready, when I happened to open his passport and saw stamps showing he'd been in Portugal for a week. That's when it hit me. He and this woman didn't just have an emotional affair. They went to Portugal together, a secret holiday, while I stayed behind, scraping money together and trusting him. I still went on the trip, didn't tell a soul. I cried almost every day in the shower. My confidence was at an all-time low. But eventually, the blind rage inside me turned into something else, self-worth. I began standing up for myself little, day by day. And I decided one day I was done. I moved in with my sister and started rebuilding. I finally started telling people what happened and realized there was no shame in my story. I did my best. I showed up. I gave love. A failed marriage does not make a failure. And now I've met someone new. Like Nick, Katie, he takes beautiful, thoughtful photos of me. He plans our weekends, shows up with flowers, is kind to everyone, and is truly loved by all. I feel seen. I feel safe. I wanted to write this for anyone who is scared to leave, anyone that thinks they won't survive the heartbreak. Please put yourself first. I promise the love you're looking for begins with choosing you. I look back now and realize I was never truly alone. I was just with someone who hated to see me shine. He never deserved me. Wish you both all the success in everything you do.
That like gave me chills.
Isn't that so sweet?
Oh my God. Thank you so much for sharing that. And you are absolutely right. And you articulated perfect that the love you're looking for begins with choosing yourself. You have to put yourself first and really fall in love with yourself again and the person that you are and just life, simple joys and pleasures and that kind of thing. And then let it find you. Or
Yeah.
you'll find it. Well, I hate let it find you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then you're like, wow, I didn't know it could be this good. That's amazing.
You're like, what a dickhead.
Okay. Anonymous says, hi, loves. I'll do the intro thing. I love y'all and your podcast and for continuing to remind me that I should always be my snarky ass self and never settle for bullshit from anyone. Boom. Dayna, I think we would be particularly good friends. Your energy of doing one season of reality show and then being like, bye sluts is very me coded. I like to think you'd both find me to be completely tolerable Gen Z gal. Here's the story. About a year ago, I met my boyfriend for the first time at a gay bar in the city we both live in. Context, I'm bi and have a lot of queer friends and he is straight. Needless to say, he's chill and clearly comfortable with himself considering the location we met. That night, he came up to me and started talking and I was trying to determine if he was straight, which became abundantly clear rather quickly. He was super charming and we hung out for the whole night and had a lot of fun. When the bar was closing, I looked him dead in the face and said, would you like to come home and have sex with me? Word for word. I like that boldness. I tend to be a pretty bold person, but this was fully a 15 seconds of insane confidence kind of moment. After I asked, he started to malfunction, which was hilarious and adorable. Being the little being the little shit. Being the little shit that I am, I said, you can say no, knowing damn well he wasn't going to say no. One of my friends drove us back to my place. The gays would never let me go home alone with anyone without sussing them out first. I love that. And after assuring him I was super excited and trust this guy, he let us do our thing. We played Scrabble until the sun came up and the rest is history. We're still together and this is my favorite story to tell to this day. Thanks for reading. Y'all are delightful to listen to. XOXO.
Would you like to come home and have sex with me?
You can say no.
Well, we love that
Cute.
for you.
Congratulations to you both. And I'm glad that you have a bunch of friends who have your back and your best interest.
We love a meet cute.
Mm-hmm. WWDD?
Should we solve the world's problems so I
We
can go home and
should.
pack and,
We'll give some
Take one.
questionably good advice.
yeah.
Marginally decent.
Mhm.
Okay.
Chelsea says, "Hi, Katie and Dana. My name is Chelsea, and I'm a day one listener and fortunately a post-Scandoval watcher because I wish I had found the show so much earlier. I even got my mom hooked. You two were def my faves throughout the show and still are now present day. I have yet to miss an episode of the pod. Hair flip. Anywho, here's my WWDD. This past weekend, my best friend, who also just happens to be my sister-in-law, were chilling and having what we like to call sister night. We were sipping on wine and playing a drinking game and got a little tipsy. And during it, she said something rude to me for the first time, and I was left a little stumped. She's never been afraid to be straight up with me before, but I've never taken anything from her as rude or been offended before. She had told me that my mom texted her the other night and was asking if she would like to help plan a birthday party and what to do for my 30th in July.
Oh.
We are Leo sisters, Dana, A. And while she explained that she was respectful in the message to my mom and told her she'd discuss things later, she told me that even though she might plan something if I want, but that nobody did anything for her 30th and didn't give her a birthday party. Her birthday is in November. I did take a little offense because I was struggling financially at the time. And even though it wasn't a big birthday bash, I still made an effort to make a gift basket of her favorite things and more for her. And I'm a little upset that she would say something like that. It's like she told me that she didn't get anything nice, so why should I? So ladies and potential listeners, am I wrong for feeling a little offended, and how should I go about this? Do I even bring it up again, or do I do my usual sweep it under the rug? Thanks again for reading, girls. Chelsea.
I mean, I think it's a little different. Like, it's your mom. And yes, you called her to see if she would like to help plan something, but why she should have an attitude thinking that you shouldn't. And she doesn't have to help. But like, I think even though like, yeah, like she's technically now your mom's daughter-in-law, like she didn't give birth to her. So like she ain't going to plan her birthday parties.
Yeah, I think that she's being a secret hater. I think that's a weird tit for tat relationship of like, I'm only going to meet you to where you met me for exactly what I got. And I don't know. I don't like that energy at all. I don't think you're wrong is the point for feeling offended or weird about it. If it's ever going to be something that you're going to ruminate about and that it's going to come up again, it's always good to just put it out there. And I would just be straight up with her and just be like, hey, we've never run into this before. This is how that made me feel. And I just feel the need to put it out there. And it's fine if you don't want to help plan it or whatever, but it just felt really like it had a weird air about it.
Yeah, I think clearing the air will just help get any like funny feelings out of the way and also give her maybe a chance to speak on it a little bit more and find out like where that was coming from. Like genuinely ask, like, why would you say something like that? Like, and also like, I think be open to the fact, like, I wish I would have known how important it would have been for you to have something planned for your 30th. I would have gladly helped. But like, I don't know, everyone is like that person that's like trying to like plan parties for people. And so I think her feeling a little miffed about having to plan something for you and plan anything for her, but it's like, you can't just expect that.
No, and I think that she also should have said something around when her birthday was of being like, hey, just so you know, like my feelings were a little hurt. Like it was my 30th birthday and whatever, because she's entitled to feel that way. I get it.
Of course.
But if you're just going to hold on to that and then bring it like a tit for tat later is silly.
I bring it up. Don't sweep it under the rug.
No, definitely don't.
Well, spring is here, and it may symbolically represent new beginnings, but it also represents being super busy all the time. Like my schedule is so full, I never have to go grocery shopping. That's why I use Hungry Root.
Hungry Root is like having your own personal shopper. It's like, okay, Lux. They take care of the weekly grocery shopping, recommending healthy grocery tailored to your taste, nutrition preferences, and health goals. They make it easy to eat high-quality, nutritious food and achieve any diet or health goals from anti-inflammatory to gut-friendly, gluten-free, or dairy-free, high-protein, and more.
They make grocery shopping simple and stress-free. Just tell them about your goals and preferences, and they fill your cart for you with personalized recommendations that get smarter as they learn more about what you liked or didn't love. Hungry Root has great options for the whole family with healthy groceries like smoothies, kids snacks, sweets, ready-to-eat meals, salad kits, and even supplements.
There's no high fructose corn syrup, artificial sweeteners, or preservatives in any of Hungry Root's foods. They only source top quality meat and seafood free of hormones and antibiotics. I personally love the lemon pepper chicken and cilantro lime rice. I think it's delicious.
I love Hungry Root. Take advantage of this exclusive offer. For a limited time, you'll get 40% off your first box, plus get a free item in every box for life. Go to hungryroot.com/disrespectfully and use code disrespectfully.
That's hungryroot.com/disrespectfully, code disrespectfully to get 40% off your first box and a free item of your choice for life. hungryroot.com/disrespectfully, code disrespectfully. I don't know about you guys, but I want to live a long and luxurious life. That's why I've been using Function. Function is an all-in-one health platform that starts with over 100 advanced lab tests covering your entire bod, heart, hormones, livers, kidneys, thyroid, autoimmunity, cancer signals, toxins, nutrients, and more.
Function Health is about taking control of your health through data. Instead of guessing what's happening inside your body, Function helps you know for sure, providing access to 100 plus advanced lab tests. These tests include insights into thyroid function, hormones, liver health, heart health, autoimmunity, kidney function, nutrient levels, heavy metal toxicity, immune system, electrolytes, and more.
Most traditional annual checkups only cover 19 biomarkers. Function Health goes 5 times deeper, giving a comprehensive view that allows you to catch potential issues early and take proactive action. Your first set of tests helps establish a baseline for your health, giving you a starting point to compare future tests against. This makes it easy to spot changes, even subtle ones, and address them, again, proactively.
Lifespans are decreasing, chronic conditions are rising, and cancer is becoming more common in younger people. Knowing what's happening inside is key to prevention, which is why comprehensive testing is so important. Unlike some companies, Function doesn't sell supplements or prescriptions. The insights you get are unbiased and solely focused on your health.
At $499 annually, the membership includes the cost of 100 plus lab tests through their nationwide lab partner. There are over 2,000 locations nationwide, making it accessible to a wider audience and compared to traditional healthcare costs that could reach up to $15,000 hairs for the exact same tests.
Health is universal. Function Health is for anyone who wants to understand their body better and make informed decisions for a longer, healthier life. Function currently has a waitlist, but they are offering our audience the chance to skip it. Head to functionhealth.com/DRF or enter code DRF when signing up to skip the waitlist. Lucy says, "Hi, Katie and Dana. My info, 30-year-old female. My best friend since we were 12 recently just ended her marriage of almost 2 years, but together for about 8 in November 2024. I was not completely surprising they were having issues. He has a past gambling issues that were not properly addressed that I think were beginning of the end. But it was a shock how quickly it was over and how done with him she was. She basically had an emotional affair with a guy from work towards the end, and she completely checked out with her husband to the point where she wasn't even hiding how much she was communicating/seeing this work guy. Basically, she's now exclusive with this dude from work, 4 months after splitting with her husband, not yet divorced. I've stuck by her side and supported her through all this, even though I didn't agree with how she handled the situation. I'm not surprised they've locked things down between them, but I'm feeling disappointed by how quickly it's happened. I wanted her to have a single time to sort herself and her mental health after being in a toxic relationship for so long. Instead, she just jumped straight into another toxic relationship. Too much backstory about how much of a loser this new guy is. I've never met him, and I don't really want to. But at the same time, I don't want to be a brat and make it hard for her by saying I don't want anything to do with this man. But how do you not have a relationship with your bestie's new BF? What would disrespectfully do? Help. Love, Lucy. P.S. Feel like I want to curse this man out if I ever see him, but I know this would really upset her/make her life a lot harder. And sadly, I think she would choose him over me. She's too dick-whipped and unfortunately has too low self-esteem/doesn't understand how much better she deserves than these men. P.S. So happy you both do pod 2 times a week. I've listened to every ep and it's my favorite. Well, here's the thing. You don't have to like this guy. You can have your opinions. You can want better for your friend. Absolutely. This is a time where you're going to have to just let her do her thing. There's no timeline in how people grieve and heal from situations. Regardless, you could say like, this is what I would do for myself and what I think would be good for everyone to do. But that's not how things happen. And sometimes, and again, I know this guy, you don't like him and he's like a douche, but like you didn't really mention why. So I don't know if there's like a ton of valid reasons, but I know I've had friends the same way that they just hop from one to the other and it doesn't seem like there's a ton of like healing or unpacking that happens. But you know what? Like sometimes it works out for them. I don't know. I think as being just supportive of her and like as you possibly can and also setting up some boundaries, like maybe you don't want to like become a sounding board for her, but like that, you know, you still want to spend time with her when she can. But like, I don't think there's a world where you like have to like immediately become best friends with this person's significant other just because, you know, you get to also decide when that's the right time for you.
Yeah, I agree with everything that Katie said. I think it's also worth examining where these feelings are coming from. Like, is it totally just because you don't like this guy, or is it because she went about it in a way that you didn't like?
Mm-hmm.
And either way, I think you'll have to reconcile that. But I think it's worth having a conversation with her and being like, look, I don't want to cause any contention between us, particularly not over a guy. Yeah, this isn't how I would have done things, but I understand that this is your journey. And to Katie's point, we all have friends that go from relationship to relationship and sometimes with shitty partner after shitty partner. But you just have to decide how important that friendship is to you, because if it is important, you can totally still be friends with her and keep him at arm's length and just see him when necessary, group things or whatever. But I do not think it would hurt at all just to say, hey, I'm being intentional, just so you know, about not being around him. And I don't want it to affect our friendship. I want you to do what you need to do. But this is how I feel. So this is what's right for me. And then see if you can meet in the middle.
Yeah. And I think trying to stay away from like being critical about how fast she like moves on. Because while you said you weren't shocked by it, like you knew that the relationship wasn't good. So she could have been going through stuff. Like I know for me, like before you actually get to that point with somebody, there's like, you kind of are grieving the relationship. Like, you know.
Yeah.
So like you're actually a lot further into the process than when everybody eventually finds out. So for her, like that timeline, whatever you want to call it, didn't feel as sudden or swift as it did to other people.
Right.
So I wouldn't try to like come down on her for that. Like you would do it differently and that's you. But just kind of like, yeah, all the other stuff bring up.
Retweet. Hope this helps.
Yes.
Elena says, first off, I want to say I love you guys. I'm an 18-year-old in her freshman year of college. I don't live on campus and I commute to class every day. I'm in a dance club. The transition has been really hard for me. I'm not good at talking to new people. I get a lot of anxiety about going to campus events. Basically, I'm just asking, what are good ways to cope with the stress of classes and have a personal life and get to know the people on campus? What would you guys suggest I do? Thank you, Elena. Okay, first of all, Elena, I want to give you a hug. Be kind to yourself, because the transition to college is hard for anyone. And, you know, you're so young and outside of your comfort zone. And especially if you're not living on campus, it sometimes can feel, because I, for a semester of college, didn't. And it kind of feels like you're an outlier where all this stuff is going on.
Mm-hmm.
I would say try exposure therapy in small doses, because it's the only way that you're going to end up getting better at being around and talking to people. So find smaller events, or possibly even things that are off campus but are collegiate related, which I'm sure that there are things out there. And like, you know, you have dance clubs. So who do you know in dance club? What are they doing with their time? Perhaps finding a buddy that makes you feel comfortable to go to these things. And once you work on getting in smaller groups and going there, and push yourself to have conversations and get better at talking to people, and it might not ever feel totally comfortable to you, but it will at least hopefully get easier over time. At least that's what I would recommend.
Yeah, I was gonna say that it's never gonna be comfortable. Like some people are like naturally really great at socializing and making friends like that, but I feel like for the most part, like everyone experiences like this like discomfort of like walking into a place, not knowing anyone, having people like look at you and you just like stare at the floor. It is deeply uncomfortable. But I think it's such also like a great like character building and growth time to like put yourself in those situations and see how much you do end up thriving. And like Dan said, start small and maybe like where people in your classes are going. I don't know, like you don't have to go to like a huge mixer right off the bat, but like, I don't know, if people are like going to grab coffee, say, can I join? Or suggest like if anyone wants to go get coffee with you after or something like that. So that way it's like a small activity and it doesn't feel overwhelming.
And even try, like, you're still going to classes, so you have to be on campus for that. So that's a good idea to tack on if you're in classes, like starting to just get comfortable with one person and then just go from there, and, you know, kind of snowballs, and they'll probably introduce you to others and it'll be great.
It's just going to take a little time, but you'll be great.
And we love you so much.
Yes. Anonymous says, Katie, I'm at a place you and Stassi were at season 8 with Kristen. One of my best friends is in a horrendous relationship that's so back and forth, and he's a massive piece of shit who has done a cornucopia of shit. She knows all this. She told me she's going through a breakup and then ghosts me for a month when she takes his loser ass back. I'm so mad at her, but mostly for her. I generally don't know how to move forward. If I could just give her a mirror and show her how we all see her, I would. I just don't know how to move forward, and I don't want to lose her. Every time They get back together. She disappears because she knows it's the wrong decision. I'm just stuck and sad and confused on where to go from here. I love you both so much. Day one listener and massive VPR fan. Please give me advice. What would disrespectfully do? For context, he's an ugly loser, 21-year-old, and she's legit one of the most beautiful people I've ever met. I'm talking an ethereal, blonde, batty, 26-year-old goddess. Best, Becca. P.S. I love you also, Dayna. Dayna is my favorite type. Oh, Danya is my favorite typo. Anyway, oh God, this is like one of the worst situations to be in. I truly hate it because I mean, especially when there's a world where like you like love like your friends' boyfriends or your friends' girlfriends and you can all hang out, but then you got that one friend with that fucking dork.
It's horrible.
And you just like, and you can't understand why they're with them. And they know that it's bad and toxic, but they can't quit it because they're addicted to it. And so they like hide what they're doing and they sneak around and you're just like, ugh. And it drives a wedge between you because you feel like, okay, is the trust lost? It's impossible to not view that person differently. But again, it's just one of those things where like, they're going to have to go through the motions. They're going to have to get to the point. And again, you don't have to support it. You can establish boundaries just saying like, listen, obviously, I don't approve. I want better from you. You deserve better. And I hope you one day figure that out. But in the meantime, like, I cannot talk about him with you. And I think that's fair to say.
Yeah, I think if you're wanting to keep her in her life, that's the only way you're going to be able to. I've definitely done that before. But then also you need to be aware that at some point, if it's fucking with your chi too much, you have to protect your peace. So if it does, I know you don't want to lose her and the goal would be not to. But if it becomes a thing where you're going to resent the shit out of her, I think it's better to take a big fat step back and just see what happens down the line and maybe have a chance for a friendship in the future once she grows and goes through this. Because this isn't going to work out for her, obviously. Like that's how those situations are. But you can't let it drag you too much into it and like let it make you too crazy. But yeah, boundaries are very important in situations like this.
Boundaries are beautiful.
Okay, hope this helps.
Hope it helps.
Katie says, hi, Katie and Dayna. I love y'all on the pod, and the 2 episodes a week really help me stay entertained at work. I'll get right to it. I'm 21 years old, and I have been with my boyfriend for 2 years. We live together, work together, have 2 dogs together. This is my first relationship, and a struggle of ours has been my lack of vulnerability and emotional intimacy. I know this is a huge problem, and I've been trying to be better. I've been going through my boyfriend's phone on and off for about 6 months, and I have found him texting other girls on Tinder multiple times. His dad was recently diagnosed with terminal brain cancer. Mom is getting laid off and is struggling with medical issues, and his sister is not mentally well. My boyfriend has also struggled with severe depression most of his life. When I confront him about cheating, he said he seeks out comfort and validation in other women as he's not getting it from me. We will end these conversations with us saying we will both be better. However, this has happened too many times, and I think we need to break up. Struggling to break his heart when he's at his lowest, as I've mentioned, splitting up. And he goes on about how much he wants to be with me. I'm his other half and his best friend. I don't think I can do this anymore, as this is just scraping the surface on our issues. How do I stand my ground and get out of this when our lives are so intertwined? He wants the dogs and so do I, and I don't want to do joint custody. Any tips on how I can go about that, or how I can keep the dogs, and how to break up with him when he is so low mentally and physically? I hope I did a good job of explaining this mess. LOL. Thank you so much for allowing me to share, and I look forward to hearing your input. Here's the thing. First of all, I say this with love, and I do love you. That is not how you treat your best friend and the love of your life and your partner. So he is taking advantage of you by not only doing those things, but then blaming you, and then also saying like, I'm at such a low time. And trust me, my mom died of brain cancer when I was young. It is fucking ugly. I feel very sad for him, independent of this situation that he is going through that. But you cannot stay in a situation like this that is bad for you because someone else is going through a hard time. And I think that unfortunately, the dogs, it's a tough thing, and Katie's going to speak to that. But I think you're smart in not doing a joint custody, because I think like her situation is different. I think for the most part, that is a really challenging thing to do. And I know this will be hard for you because you love the dogs. But honestly, just because he's going through a hard time, I personally would say, okay, you should keep the dogs, because like if that's something that you want to help make sure he has some comfort to get him through the situation, it might be the better thing to just walk away from that. Yeah, it's not an easy thing to do, but you just need to be straightforward and say, I'm sorry that you are going through all of this, but some of this is your own making, and I cannot be treated this way by the person that's supposed to love me. Yeah, it's like you're the love of my life, my best friend. I need you. But like, listen, I'm going through something hard. So like, I'm going to look for validation of it. Like, you can't have it both ways. You can't. And I understand like it can be such a mind fuck and such a terrible thing to go through, like experience that loss. But like, also in my opinion,
when it comes to life, there's always going to be something.
Yeah.
They lost their job. They're having this go on in their life. They have a health scare of their own. Like there's never a good time in life to end things with somebody. But like, I'll tell you this much, you should not have to suffer at the hands of this person who doesn't want to also like try to like climb out of that hole.
Yeah.
You know, like I understand it's better, easier said than done. It'd be really difficult to be a great partner to somebody when you are going through so much, but treating them terribly and less than is never an option. And coming from experience, don't allow that.
He's going on Tinder. It's not even like he just like met someone out at a bar or something.
Yeah,
He's
or someone
seeking
from
this.
work. He's seeking it out. It's so much more than that. And yeah, like I think there's darker days ahead if you don't. And it comes to the dogs, like I agree.
Yeah,
Like
what did you say about the dog thing?
in theory, you know, joint custody like doesn't always work out and everything like that. But like I don't know. I think Dana's kind of right on this one. Like if he's that down bad, maybe having the dogs is going to help him out of it. And it's not an easy decision to make. It like maybe you could say I want to let the dog stay with you, but for my own sanity, it's not going to be a joint custody situation. That if you are able to like come see them like once a month or something, or you'll take them for a weekend once a month, it'll help like lessen the blow. When you go from seeing your dogs every day to not, like Tom and I did a week on, week off, and now he primarily has them, but these calls still come with me like twice a month. So like it's still like I feel like I'm still getting to see them and spend time with them, but like having that like time to sort of like wean me off of them, you know, I mean, I don't know. You got to figure out what you're comfortable with, but it can be, it's like no joke how hard that is.
I know how hard it will be for you, but I really do think it's the best thing to let the dogs go. Don't let him have them. But we're very sorry and rooting for you.
Yeah, circle back with
Yeah,
this.
please circle back. Keep us posted.
Wait, one more. Lauren says, hi, Katie and Dana. Again, this is kind of a circle back. I wrote in a few episodes back, I am the girl that had the baby with her situationship and was having trouble deciding to stay or move on. I felt a lot of clarity after I heard your advice, and I did end up telling him exactly how I felt, and absolutely nothing changed. So I decided to move on with my life, but maintain a good co-parenting relationship. Thank you so much for the advice. Any hoodly-hoo. That's not really why I'm writing. This time I'm writing in about his mom. I live in Wisconsin. Obviously, we like to drink here. Anytime she's not sober and has an issue with her son, she messages me about him being on drugs. This is extremely triggering for me as I was in a relationship with a heroin addict for 5 years and I've made it my mission to never get involved with somebody like that. Yes, I really know how to pick them, LOL. Plus, I do not want a drug addict around my son. I have never once seen any proof of this. I feel like if he was on drugs, of all people, I would know. I've asked him straight up, and of course he said no, but even if he was, I'm sure he'd say no. But I was also very naive with my ex in the past. At this point, I feel very in the middle when she does this. I love her. She's the best grandma, but I feel like my loyalty will always lie with her son. I defend him as much as I can without ruffling her feathers. How can I communicate to her how this has made me feel without potentially ruining our relationship? I'm not good with finding the right words when it comes to serious conversations like this. If you were in my shoes, what would you tell her? My name is not Malcolm. I really don't want to be in the middle anymore. Thank you for being my therapist and keep me entertained while I'm grooming dogs all day. Love you, my Coven sisters. Okay, love you. Bye, Lauren. But like we were just saying before, boundaries are very beautiful. This is a boundary situation because, again, this isn't your mother-in-law. You know, she's the grandmother of your child, but you don't have that kind of relationship with her son. So I feel like there's a slight different thing where, you know, you can basically say like, listen, whatever's going on between you and your son is between you and your son. And I will talk to him about the things that I need to talk to him about. As far as you and I are concerned, it is only about the child. I only want to talk to you about the child or about you personally, but like, I cannot be this person. You have to say it in plain black and white because people will still try to, you know, push the boundary or you give them an image, they take a mile. So I think just being like abundantly clear about like the type of relationship you are willing to have with her without sounding like an asshole, because obviously you care about her, but like just saying like, I don't want to talk to you about him, only about grandma stuff and our child.
Yeah, I think that whenever you're having those kinds of conversations, it's also beneficial to start with the things that you like about them or you love about your relationship or what's going well. Just like
a compliment sandwich.
Yeah, you're a great grandma. I value the relationship that we've been able to have, although I'm now only co-parenting with your son. The reason I'm having this conversation is because I want us to have longevity and I want you in my son's life. But an example specifically of A, B, and C, when you did this behavior, it made me feel this way. It interferes with my co-parenting situation, yada, 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 and then go from there. But boundaries are so important and you have to acknowledge the boundary and hold it, you know? So then going forward, you'll see. And, you know, Then if it happens again, that's a different conversation and say, hey, I had this conversation with you. I have to do what's best for my son. So like get it together, or I'm not going to be able to have you in his life in the way that you are right now.
Yeah. And maybe, just maybe for like funsies, maybe just keep like a little bit more of a closer eye on your baby daddy's behavior, just in case there's like any kind of truth.
Yeah, that's the first thing I thought when I had a situation in my life where there was someone that was doing drugs that I had no idea about. And all I have to say is pay attention. Don't necessarily take it to heart if you feel like she's just saying that to say it. But that's also such a weird thing to say about your own child. So
yeah.
Hope this helps.
Hope it helps. Anyway, all right.
Okay, I have to go shave my whole body now.
You can go shave your back now.
Hey, love you, bye.
Love you, bye.
Babe, you're gonna see the power of women. Like, disrespectfully.